I understand that shortly after the fires, when you and your wife at the time got divorced, I've never really known too much about it. I don't know if you want to talk about it, but besides that, what was it now like? Because I know certainly in your book, and from what I understand, you then became a single father, and you were the one with the kids.
Yeah.
So what was, again, it's almost like tragedy upon tragedy upon tragedy.
It just wouldn't stop. It was
orphanage. You leave the orphanage. You get married.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
You get married. Things seem to be fine. You're focusing on a new life. You're focusing on everything. Then there's a fire. Your oldest daughter almost dies in it. And then whatever happens with your wife leaves you, and now you've got 4 kids to raise by yourself. If you don't mind, could you tell us a bit about that? Just fatherhood in general, being a single father. That's not really something we hear about.
Yeah,
often.
no,
It's
it was
single
weird.
mothers.
It was weird. I mean, the thing was that what had happened was that the girls, our children's birth mother was a pop star.
Okay.
And so rather than embarrass her or anything, she went up. She a friend of mine said something really interesting to me once. He said, when she was completely out of control, he said to me, "You got to remember, she's music business now." And that was I was clear what that meant. I was absolutely clear. And actually, the reality was, it was a train wreck. It was horrible. I've never spoken publicly about that actually, so I kind of.
It's okay.
I don't mind talking. I don't mind talking about it privately, but I kind of feel a little bit anxious about talking about that publicly. But anyway, it wasn't a good situation. So we went through a whole thing in the courts, and eventually it was back and forth, and then I ended up having custody of the children. So now we're living in a place called Old Causden, which is up in Purley, in the top end of sort of towards Gatwick, out that way.
Yeah.
And we had a really interesting little life. We were like the railway children, It was like this sort of strange. It was odd, really, where the girls had, we were back to being the only black people in the area again.
Yeah.
Golf course at the back of our house and all the rest of it, and it was all wonderful. And we were doing well, I was working hard and all the rest of it. But that got tricky, and obviously raising 4 children on your own is really difficult.
3 girls as well.
Yeah, so I'd have to bring them down to Westbourne Park to have their hair braided, because their hair was coming like they were like rastas. There was a joke. Those girls looked like, oh my goodness, those girls looked like I don't know what by the time I'd finished with them. Poor Paul. And so Auntie Gillian used to take and comb their hair, and she said, "Boy, these girls have got such nice hair. What are you doing to these children?" They were like, the hair was. Yeah. So we got that figured out. But then, thank God, Hayley arrived, and she just.
And as you said, that's been a childhood friend. So how did that? I mean, you were friends.
Yeah, we were really. So
but you'd always been close. How did that all?
Oh, it was mad. So we were doing these raves. So we used to do these. We were doing little clubs and nights and stuff. And a friend of mine, and. So one night we were doing there's a place in Camden called the Electric Ballroom.
Yeah, I know the Electric Ballroom.
So we were doing a night there, and
it's funny, I'm doing nights now as well.
It's mad, isn't it?
That's another topic.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So we were doing a night at the Electric Ballrooms, and I'd been kind of fiddling around because I had lots of friends that were, I don't really know why, but I had lots of friends that were in either music or sport or whatever else. Anyway, so David, who I was doing the gigs with, rang Paul Trouble Anderson, and said to Paul, can we book you to do this gig? Because Paul was at Kiss. He went, yeah, no problem at all. So he said to Hayley, "Oh, Hayes, drive me to this event. In fact, why don't you come?" So she said, "Oh, I don't want to go to the club, blah blah blah." She goes, "No, you'll like it. It's Paul Walsh doing it." So she went, "You remember Paul, don't you?" She goes, "Yeah, Paul. Yeah, of course." So anyway, she came to the thing with her friend. And she came in, and I didn't even recognise her. So Paul came in, and I was standing doing something over, and she came up. She just started chatting to me. She goes, and I thought, this girl's familiar.
Yeah.
And the one thing I thought as soon as I saw her was, I didn't know who she was, I didn't know what she was doing there, but the one thing I thought when I saw her was, I'm going to marry this girl.
From then,
I just saw her, and I thought, I'm going to marry this girl.
And you've been married for how long now?
30 years.
Crazy.
And she started talking, and it was a smile. She just smiled. She got this little mischievous smile here, and this little twinkle in her eyes. She said to me, she goes, "Don't remember me, do you?" And I was proper embarrassed because she obviously knew who I was, and I didn't know who she was. And I was like, keep talking. So she kept going on for a bit. And I went, oh my God, it's Hayley. And she went, yep. She went, but she's like this beautiful woman now. She was this little girl when I knew her. He's just like mucking about, he's climbing trees, acting stupid, running around the place. But the funny thing was, when we were 14, I remember I really wanted to go out of her when we were kids, but she went into that stupidness, and I didn't have no time for girls who weren't doing that, because I'm 14, I ain't got time for virtue. I need to get, you know what I'm saying?
So you get the business.
I need to get stuff. That's what I'm saying. So this virtuous woman, man, she might be righteous and all the rest of it, but that weren't my vibe right then. So I need to just get it done. So anyway, so there were plenty of girls that were okay with that, but and the other problem was Hayley's brother would have killed me, so that wouldn't have been good either. So I had to go easy with Hayley, and. But I just knew it. I just knew I was going to get married to her. And the really weird thing was, she came to the house. I remember her coming over to the house early, and I said to her, I mean, she didn't have children of her own, right? So this is now a guy she hadn't seen since she was 16 or whatever. And now...
How old are you?
28.
Okay.
And now she's coming to the house, and I've got these 4 children and all this other stuff. And I remember she came and she had 4 fingers of fudge with her. I remember it. She came and she came in the house, and she was really amazing with the kids. And I was in the kitchen kind of pretending to make dinner. I don't know what the hell I was doing. Yeah. And they came out one after the other. And Chantal came out first, and she said to me, I like her. She went back in the room. Then the little one came out, Francesca came out, and she says, Dad, I've got an idea. I said, what's that? She goes, I think you should make Hayley our mum.
Oh, that's so cute.
And I like, seriously? And she went,
that's confirmation.
I think she should be our mum. And then the little one, Louisa, came out. She goes, "Hey, can Hayley stay?" And then Paul just adored her from the first day I saw her. And it was really, and it was just like there was the beginning. Like for the first time, there was this beginning of thinking, maybe there's some hope. You know, there was a long way to go, and we still had a long way to fall. To be honest with you, Shani was only 7. She was still wearing a face mask, and we had all the you know, we lost everything. We lost everything. Lost the house. Lost everything, and we were literally at ground zero. It was like I was 30 years of age and financially about 12 years old. It was just awful, and we had to start everything again, and it was horrible. It was just a disaster. But Hayley, and people don't really know this, and she should be honoured for this. I mean, she was doing 3 jobs. Looking after the 4 children, holding down 3 jobs, not having children of our own. But I mean, this woman, I'm telling you, if you want to know what it means to be, you know, touched by an angel, it was just amazing what she's done. And she's just for 30 years just stood and believed and kept believing me when she's been serious. She's been just amazing.